Welcome to the Noodle Podcast. We are Kate and Max, and we love noodling on what we've learned by accident. This podcast is a space where we share how we get the best out of ourselves and the people we've worked with. In today's episode, we wonder, is it okay to lie if it gives you the confidence to succeed? How does it feel when we know someone's lying and there are no consequences? And, as ever, what would Beyonce do?
Hello.
Hi! Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And today to explore the dark side of the truth.
Today we're going to talk about lies. Little lies, great big whopping lies, and
self-defeating lies.
Yeah. When a lie is necessary.
Illusion lies. Ooh.
And lies with massive consequences. Or no consequences at all.
Yeah.
Okay, where should we start?
I think I would like to start with that bit at the beginning, the self-deception lie, where you say that you're going to do something, but you're not really sure that you are. And I cast my mind back to working at an organisation where my boss had asked me to do, she was very good at asking me to do things that were virtually impossible. And I was good at saying, yes, I can do that, and then achieving them. But I got given this particular project that she was really keen for me to do. And as soon as she said it, in my head, I was going, I'm not going to do that.
Did you think, I'm not going to do that, or I don't know how to do that, or I'm not sure where to start, but I'll say yes and figure it out?
Probably all of that very quickly in the moment. And just my head inside was going, no. But my mouth was saying, yes, of course, I'll do that. And then what I managed to do for the next couple of months was be very busy doing other things and not that thing.
So you sat on it. Yeah.
And I was very good at reporting and updating on everything else I was doing and managing to run out of time and not update on the thing that she was probably going to ask me about. But if I ran out of time, she wouldn't ask me. Lots of dodging.
Clever.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Until one day, so Max, how are we getting on with Project X?
Yeah.
And I went, I haven't started. At which point she was very angry.
Was she?
She was very angry.
Was she disappointed?
She was.
I hate that. Quietly disappointed is the worst.
Yeah, no, she was pretty angry.
Oh.
And fair enough, really, because I did say to her, are you angry, when we talked about it, are you angry with the fact that I've not done it because of these reasons, or are you angry with me? And she said both. Send me away with tail between my legs.
Yeah.
But yes, I had, time over again.
Yeah, what would you do differently?
Have the conversation earlier, which is, okay, you want me to do this and I understand why, and here's why I'm struggling with it, or I don't know how to do it, or I don't believe, whatever it is, but to have that conversation sooner.
And I wonder if you would now notice sooner that you were sitting on it. What does procrastinating mean? What does it mean when I really try to make sure that agenda point is always last so we never have time to cover it? What is it that I'm avoiding? Where might I be kidding myself?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a pretty common tactic when you know you haven't got enough time with somebody senior.
Yeah. Yes. So that's awkward.
Yes.
Very, very awkward. Should we jump straight to big old lies?
Yes, go on then. Big, nasty.
Ever been lied to?
When have you been lied to? Come on.
Okay, I had a manager who would ask me to put a report together. I'd spend quite a lot of time doing research, often on sort of competitor analysis, that type of thing. So it was quite in-depth stuff. I would give it to him. This is in the days of actual paper reports, printing things off. He would take the front page off, which had my name on it and the title of the report, and put his own front page on with his name, and then give it to his boss. And it was literally as blatant as that. And in his head, because he'd asked for the report, he felt that was okay. It was not okay.
Yes.
And you can imagine how disengaged I became,
Yes.
and I was sort of incensed. But this is my boss. What can you do? Oh, and that was a big fat lie. I thought that wasn't his report.
No.
So
and allowing other people to think that it was. And whilst, yes, we recognise when you're working with people who have teams that not all the work that they do is done by them, yeah, of course, but then blatantly taking credit for somebody else's work. So when you're a manager, you do need to take responsibility for when things go wrong, but when things are going right, you should be lifting your team up. You should be celebrating what they're good at, letting their work go and speak for them. That's your role.
Sharing that credit and showing that you're proud of the people who have put stuff together only reflects well on you. And if you are doing all the work, that doesn't reflect so well. So actually saying, the team did this, that was great. So that was a nasty one. I also had somebody reporting to me who I had to sign off expenses, and I was being chased by our finance team because this guy hadn't put his expense report in for about 6 months. We were supposed to do it monthly. And the more I asked him, could I have your expense report? He was quite a bit older than me, which made it awkward. The more weird fibs he came up with for why he couldn't do this. Oh, I've done it, but my computer's broken. No, it isn't. Or, I'm trying to find the receipts for that thing, but they're all in my other jacket. You've had 6 months. My wife's put something in the dry cleaners, and so I haven't got access to blah, blah, blah. Basically, I found out that he had been putting dinners with his friends on the company corporate credit card. And so, it got to a point where I was like, you have to bring it in. I'm gonna have to shop you. And then it was, lots of panicky stuff, and he actually left the role very quickly, but went somewhere else in that organisation. At which point, what should I have done? He wasn't my responsibility anymore. That, the expense situation had gone with him. So I felt like I wasn't lying, but I wasn't going to chase it up any further. He definitely was lying.
Would you do anything different now? You asked me that earlier, so I'm going to ask you.
Yeah,
would you do anything different
same
this
thing.
time?
I think, I would not have month after month after month have let that go on.
Yeah.
I would have jumped on, why is he saying this stuff? There's something shady. There's something underhand. I'm going to have to be brave and call it out. It often does take a bit of bravery, doesn't it?
But that shady, going to pick up on the word shady. So that's interesting, that bit where you realise that there's something not quite right. And I guess we're all in that position, aren't we? When we accept a piece of work and we don't know how to do it.
Yes.
And we either do the really enthusiastic, yes, I can do that, she says, shaking her head vigorously with an air hostess smile. or we go, yes, and
I'm sure I can.
Yes, slightly doubtful. So that bit about, is it a lie to say that you can when you don't know how?
Or to give the impression that you're very confident about this when actually you're not. In fact, that is a skill that we often have to have. No one's born knowing how to do this stuff. You learn on the job. If you want other people to have confidence in you, do you always want to tell them, this is the first time I'm doing this? I've never touched this before. No, you'd probably have a go, work it out, talk to someone who has done it before. There's that whole Amy Cuddy, fake it till you make it, with your body language and so on. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. I think acting as if is a good thing. I guess it's just having the confidence and the belief that you've done things before that you hadn't known how to do, and therefore this is a possibility again, and not creating doubt in others.
Yes. But there is a point at which that's not okay anymore. And actually what you're doing is covering up or lying to yourself as well as others that everything's okay when it's not okay. I'm working with someone at the moment who he feels really hurt and disappointed that somebody who reported to him was saying everything was fine and it wasn't. This person's now gone off sick. They've suddenly realised how many things that woman, I just imagine the depths that she must have gone into emotionally and mentally because the lies that she was telling to cover up the fact that she was not coping and things were not happening that should have happened, that are going to bring the organisation into quite a lot of trouble, actually.
Right.
But so my question to him was, apart from the fact that he's disappointed because he felt like he was creating an environment where everyone can say, if there's a problem, bring it to me. So we needed to explore, was that really the case? You might have intended for that to be the case, but why would somebody or people feel uncomfortable about telling the truth?
And that's that phrase, and it's out there a lot now, isn't it? The phrase psychological safety, which is that sense of no matter how much I believe I'm creating the right conditions for everybody else, how you feel is something that you feel.
Yes.
I can only go so far to create the right conditions, but psychological safety is something each of us feel. So if we're feeling scared or wary or uncomfortable, we might lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's, I mean, obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but I think sometimes there's positive intent initially.
Yes.
It's just that sometimes then it can get out of hand.
Yeah. And what happens when you're doing that to yourself? You're not letting yourself see that actually things are not all right.
Yeah.
At what point is it burnout?
Yes.
That is the big thing, the big sign that actually things weren't okay. You weren't coping. You
I'm
did
fine.
need help.
I'm fine.
Everything's fine. Or the lies we tell ourselves. I'm the only person that can do this. I have to. I can't go on holiday because
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I can't delegate this to anybody else because they would either crumble under the pressure that I'm feeling, and I don't want them to feel that. It might come from good intent, like you said, or I don't trust them. They'll make mistakes. It'll take twice as long. I might as well do it myself.
Yeah.
Again, you might be genuinely thinking you're doing that for a good reason. But ultimately, it's a lie. You're hiding something, and you're not giving yourself or them the chance.
I'm thinking of a time when I worked with a young lady who lacked self-confidence, and actually the acting as if thing. Sorry, I'm jumping back now to something you said earlier. But
should we just spell out acting as if?
Yes.
So for me, it's what would Beyonce do?
Oh, yeah, clearly, as always. But acting as if, being even if you don't know how to do something, saying yes, and then working as if you are operating with some, the skills, the mindset, the confidence of someone who could do
5
it.
years in the future, you knew how to do this backwards and forwards and inside out. What if I act as if that was the case now? How would that enable me? How would that give me more inner resource to do this?
And the reason I'm thinking about this person is that bit about admitting. So there's that bit when you're somebody's manager that they tell you that they can't or they don't know how. And when I was working with this young lady, me sort of saying to her, but I believe you can. Yeah. And I know that you can. And we just need to trust that in 3 months' time, you're going to be so all over this and laugh when you look back to think, how was that nervous person ever thinking she couldn't do this or she couldn't do that? So just having to build their confidence and self-belief and letting them tell you when they were stuck and listening, and then just giving them the little bits of encouragement needed to then slowly build the capability, build the confidence. And absolutely, God, she didn't just nail it. She absolutely flew after that.
Yes.
But that's a lovely thing to hear, that self-doubt.
Yes, if someone can be honest enough, to say, I can't do that. And you say, I reckon you can.
Yeah.
That's behind every good coach, isn't it? Is to see the butterfly in the caterpillar. The caterpillar doesn't know it's going to turn into a butterfly, but you do. It's not exactly a lie, is it?
No.
But it's not exactly the truth, because that person isn't in that place yet. And they genuinely feel that they can't be. Yeah. They don't have the capability. So by encouraging them down that route.
And that delegating piece there of giving people, so I think it's in Gestalt that they use the phrase safe emergency, where you give somebody an opportunity to practice something, but it's a safe version. So emergency being, it's real enough that you've got to engage with it, but not so real that if it didn't work out that you would end up exposed. And that's that thing about delegating earlier, giving checkpoints earlier, giving people the opportunity to fail fast, fail forward, all that sort of stuff.
Having a safe playground, don't we? Try this thing out. It's not going to be career limiting if it doesn't go 100% right. You'll learn from it. Yeah. It can take time, it can take trust, but it's a way to help teams and individuals to grow in a way that probably they couldn't if you didn't give it to them at all. And then maybe it's too late, you're doing everything.
So what's important from what we've covered today
don't take my report and put your name on it. Thanks.
Yes, that.
I've not let that go, have I?
Absolutely. Don't lie to yourself. Well, when you're lying to yourself, you need to hear it. So there's something about listening to your internal talk, but also I think there's something about putting yourself sometimes in other people's shoes. So just checking perceptual positions. What does it feel like for them? What's their situation? I know we talked about truth in the last one. That's sort of what's their truth, and therefore, what are they telling you? Or not telling you?
So one of our noodles on perceptual positions is really useful to think about that. What's it like to be them, and what's it like to be me? And if we rose above, what would we see? That's important and illuminating about this.
And delegating decisions, that framework of looking at how can you help people to practice making decisions without it being irreversible and consequential, and therefore, maybe I'm avoiding those decisions because.
Yeah, so can you pass on decisions that if it went wrong, you can undo it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Safe emergency.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fab. Excellent. Another very thought-provoking conversation with you, Max. I do love this.
Oh.
Thank you.
See you next time, everyone.
Next time. You can find a reminder of the concepts and noodles we've mentioned in this episode's blurb and get daily snippets on Instagram at noodle_space. Please don't forget to subscribe, share and leave us a review. We love hearing your stories too on the chat at www.noodle.space.